It was 2 a.m. when the phone rang. Single dad Ethan Cole rubbed his tired eyes, staring at the glowing screen. The call wasn't for him, it was a wrong number. But something in the trembling voice on the other end pulled at his heart. He could have hung up. He could have gone back to sleep. Instead, he got dressed, grabbed his old jacket, and drove through the dark. That one decision, answering a wrong call, would change his life forever. Because at the other end of that mistake was a woman who had everything money could buy, but nothing her heart truly needed. And before the night ended, she would ask him to stay forever. Ethan Cole was no stranger to sleepless nights. Ever since his wife had passed away 3 years ago, raising his 8-year-old daughter, Lily, had been a constant battle between exhaustion and determination. He worked long hours as a mechanic, sometimes taking late-night shifts just to keep food on the table. His phone rarely rang at that hour, and when it did, it usually meant bad news. But that night, when his old phone buzzed, the voice he heard was nothing he expected. "Hello? Please, you have to help me," a woman whispered through the line, her tone fragile, laced with desperation. Ethan frowned. "Ma'am, I think you've got the wrong number." There was silence, then a broken sob. "I don't know who else to call. I can't do this anymore." Every instinct told him to let it go, this wasn't his problem. But Ethan remembered the nights he sat by Lily's bed, her tiny hands clutching his after she had nightmares, her cries echoing in the emptiness of their home. He knew what despair sounded like. And this woman's voice carried it heavily. So, without asking more, he said softly, "Where are you?" She gave an address. Ethan's breath caught. It was in the richest part of town, a place where his rusty pickup truck would stand out like a stain. Still, he didn't hesitate. He left Lily with his trusted neighbor, promised he'd be back soon, and drove through the quiet streets. When he arrived, towering gates loomed before a mansion that looked like something out of a magazine. Inside, lights burned dimly. The front door was ajar. Ethan stepped in cautiously and found her, collapsed on the marble floor, clutching an empty bottle of pills. She was young, maybe late 20s, with long dark hair, dressed in a silk robe that screamed wealth. But her eyes, red and swollen, screamed loneliness. Hey, stay with me," Ethan urged, kneeling beside her. He called for an ambulance, stayed by her side, and when she weakly grabbed his hand, he didn't pull away. Hours later, at the hospital, the woman finally spoke her name, Isabella Harrington, heiress to one of the largest fortunes in the city. Everyone knew her name, but no one seemed to know her. She had the money, the fame, the estate, yet not a soul who would answer her cries at 2 a.m. "You weren't even supposed to be here," she whispered hoarsely to Ethan. "Why did you come?" Ethan's voice was steady but gentle. "Because you called. And sometimes, that's enough." And with that, a fragile connection was born. In the days that followed, Ethan didn't expect to hear from Isabella again. But she called. Not by mistake this time, but by choice. She wanted to thank him, she said. But more than that, she wanted to hear his voice, the only one who had shown up when no one else did. At first, Ethan kept his distance. He had Lily to think about, bills to pay, and his own scars that hadn't fully healed. But Isabella's calls grew longer, filled with quiet confessions of how suffocating her world was. People saw her as an heiress, not a person. Everyone wanted something from her except him. One weekend, she asked if he could bring Lily to the estate. Ethan hesitated but agreed, thinking it would just be a kind gesture. To his surprise, Isabella knelt down to Lily's level, not caring about her expensive dress getting dirty, and asked about her favorite storybooks. For the first time in years, Ethan saw genuine laughter spill from his daughter as Isabella listened, played, and treated her like the most important person in the room. Something shifted that day. Isabella wasn't just a lonely heiress anymore. She was someone yearning for family, for love, for belonging, but it wasn't all simple. Gossip soon spread. Why was the wealthy heiress spending time with a broke mechanic and his little girl? Ethan was mocked, told he didn't belong. Even Isabella's family questioned her choices, warning her against throwing away her future. Yet Isabella stood firm. "They don't know what it feels like to be truly seen," she told Ethan one evening as they sat on the balcony of her mansion, watching Lily chase fireflies in the garden. "You saw me that night, when no one else cared. And I can't let that go." Ethan's chest tightened. He had come from nothing, answered a call that wasn't meant for him, and somehow ended up in the heart of someone who had everything. Still, he worried, could their worlds ever truly fit together? The answer came when Isabella, with tears brimming in her eyes, took his hand and whispered, "You showed up when I needed someone the most. Stay. Stay forever." In that moment, Ethan realized the truth. Family wasn't built by blood, or wealth, or status. It was built by love, by showing up, even when you didn't have to. And as the dawn broke over the estate, Ethan pulled Isabella close, watching Lily run toward them, her laughter ringing like music. The wrong call at 2 a.m. had led him here, to the right place, at the right time.